I had to figure out how to fix that. We're here for a reason. To suffer, die, but first be reborn in the spirit. To be born in the spirit, I guess. Maybe not reborn. It's just born again in the spirit, it says. So born again meaning you're born, but then you get born. Then you get born as again, like in a different way, like in the spirit way, in the spirit, like as you get older, you get. It's almost like being born. If being born is becoming 18 years old, now you're an adult. Except for it's just a similar kind of relatable understanding. But like you're born, then you get to be 18, and if they called being 18, if like that means you're an adult, if they called that being born an adult, like reborn as an adult, I guess, then that is that's kind of what it means. Like, I mean, that's not fully what it means, but yeah, it is like the way to think about it. Except for it's after you become an adult, it's being born, then like fully grown up as much as possible, and just becoming born more and more in the spirit. Fully, more or less, good or bad. Evil or good. What is that? You hear it? What's the? We should get hardcore into the spirit, hardcore, because something's afoot. If there was something afoot, I'd rather be fucking foot soldier to the foot fucking cold. Or wait, I don't know. I'd rather be one. Rather have one little foot, but be a foot soldier than be a fucking two regular foot, like normal feet, and be a fucking cold feet motherfucking defeated fetus. Fucking abortion. What a worthless. Just because you do this or that doesn't mean you have to be worthless, and just because you're this or that doesn't mean you have to. I mean, and just because you're not this or that doesn't mean you have to be worthless either. Nobody has to be worthless. But anybody can be worthless. Like if you're all that, well, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Whatever, in any whatever way, then you can be really worthless, probably most likely. But that doesn't mean you have to be worthless. You can be all that and also just not be worthless. It's not your fault if you're all that. I mean, just like physically, like stupid way, you know. But if you ain't all that, like this or that, you know, like you don't have to be worthless. And in fact, if you can be worth, just think about it. What does it mean? Big gains, big wins in heaven. Because it's not as easy. Well, actually, it's not as easy in a different way. Like for you, it's hard. For someone like that, with a disability, it's harder in a way to be not worthless. Like, or like hate, you're not just, or unless maybe, it's harder because shit's harder. Life's harder in a lot of ways. But in a way, then you could take that however you do, but it's always up to the person how they take it. Good or bad. But good doesn't have anything to do with me when it's you and you. Good is between you and you, and bad is between you and you. Taking it either way is you taking you either way, where it takes you. But we don't get a choice. Some people are like fucking this, and like the guy that everybody's like, oh, that guy's like, he's the best. But that's never been me. I'm just saying that there's that guy, and then there's a guy that like nobody like thinks is cool, but they're all assholes, and you don't even know that they're not. I mean that they are, but you definitely don't know that they're not. And yeah, everybody in the world's an asshole, except and you're, but then again, there's God, so that could be true. You could be right, even if everybody else fucking like swears you're not or something. Especially then. Where I'm falling off the right track. But it's like, you could be the fucking jockey football fucking quarterback fucking superstar. And just fucking, be a fucking egomaniac. Or you could have like nobody likes you. Not really likes you, but nobody likes you, but just there's a popularity contest going on. It's all about looks and all that crap. I never had the personality for it, so I didn't even always have I didn't have all the looks for it either. I just I don't know. And even if I did, it sometimes like it would just fall apart. Like oh, you're retarded. Like, oh, I guess. I don't know. Just kind of not there right now. Just not there. Because that's like, I've got to be against it, the system. Something, not playing with it. It's not that wasn't my path. I know that now, but I didn't know it then. But anyway, I know, now that I know, it's like, fuck all that. It's a trap. If I buy into that, it's a trap for me. Since you don't have to, since you're not gonna, if you're someone who's not gonna, can't buy into that, or can, but would have to try really hard or something, it's not as easy. They have to, like, then maybe they don't. And maybe they become like what a really good person is supposed to be like, depending on if they're pessimistic about it or not. And if they're not, then that's why they would be doing the right thing, choosing the right thing. Profoundly, I guess, if they thought about it. And that would be the best thing to do. For sure you could say that's the way it was going to work. That's the way it's going to work out. Or that's how it would. If it did, if you're doing it right. But you gotta, if you considered it, but that's where that's what you gotta do. That's where you gotta come. That's where you gotta confront. Get that. Make that a habit. So I already just lost it, but I don't know who else did at the same time, if anybody else had it. But if they did and they lost it right there and then, so did I. But it's alright. These things happen. What do you think? Why do you think that is? Because this isn't just like nothing. It's not like, that's not nothing when it happens. When that happens, it's not nothing that made that happen. Something did. I mean, it's the opposite of what you do when you're doing what you're doing it, doing what you're doing what you do. So how can that be you if that's you, which is the opposite, and that's you? Which one is it? You are that one. The other one's not. Because there you go. So something's doing it. It ain't you. But it's okay. Whatever it was you is still you. It's still you. You didn't forget it. You got attacked by whatever it isn't. Whatever that is, that's not you. What you gotta identify. I have to identify what it is. So I know, like, understand it. And once I do, then the opposite can become true because I can see what it is, see it, understand it, and seek it and destroy it. And by turning away from it, not going with it, going the other way, going the right way. The other way, whatever the other way is, has got to be the right way. It's by default. So I'm always going the right way, if I'm just going in that way all the time, the whole way, all the way, well, then that's got to be the right way to go. It's always got to be the right way to go. I mean, it's just got to be. So that's what you got to do. You got to go with that way all the time, all the way, the whole way. No matter what, the way is the way. The way is the right way. The right way is the right way. And what way? Well, which way is that? Because in any way, shape, or form. Well, I know, but everybody else would have to figure that out, and to their own dismay if they don't. But that's enough of a clue. You can review the tape, the video, and it'll bring you back to that, to brazen it up to your question again, and then, if you care enough, and then you'll be able to be set up again for the question and ask yourself the question and find out what the answer is. So decide for yourself again. Decide for yourself. Why let anything but yourself decide anything for you? Decipher yourself. Decipher. That's what that means. Decipher, decide for. What else could it mean? Why would it be so similar? Why would it be so coincidental? Why would it be so good if it wasn't really good?
Come on.
Hey,
Come on in.
Faith, I'm here. I'm doing what I feel right doing.
Come go.
I'm not done.
Come go.
I have much to say, much to do, much to learn. You're on the opposite side of the spectrum where you're not really actively trying to learn, or you're not, academically, like, actively, like, getting after it like I'm trying to, or like I am. But because I'm trying to, because I am. So, that's not the way. But I mean, it's all right. You're learning. Don't get me wrong. But you'll figure it out enough to get it going. You know, get it going like for yourself. And I'm brainwashing you, but in a good way. But that's just because I know it's good. And I'm not really brainwashing you because it's just like you're letting it happen, but for a good reason. If it's for a good purpose, it's for a good intention. The intention. That's how you would, if you knew the intention. That's how you'd know. If it was, that's how you'd know. But then you can't really know the intention necessarily. You have to, unless you can. But you'd have to do it. And of course you can, as well as you can't. But you'd have to be able to know how. You'd have to be able to figure it out somehow. So how? Because it's always going to be that. No matter what, you can't. What I just said can't not be true. It has to be true. Because otherwise, how do you know anything? How do you know what? How do you know if it's true? How do you know if you're right? How do you know how do you avoid, how do you do what's right? How do you avoid whatever? How do you avoid trouble? How do you avoid whatever it is that you would want to avoid, like anybody would? So by avoiding that, it would be the opposite of doing what takes that. If something's you're avoiding something. If you're not avoiding that thing, well then that thing is where you go. So if you do avoid that thing, if it's just like, whoa, what the fuck, this is, all of a sudden, like, you're waking up and like someone shit on your face and you're like, huh, and you figure out what's going on, you're waking up. So you're like, whoa, I'm avoiding this, I'm not coming back here, or something. So by avoiding it, now you're going whatever other way there is to go by avoiding something. Unless it's not something to avoid, or if it is something to avoid, and is it or isn't it? Now there is the answer to which is the question, and the answer to that question is the answer, because you'd have to know. Couldn't really tell you that part. I'm not gonna tell you because I'm not gonna brainwash you. But I know why. So if I know why, someone else has to know. Why wouldn't everybody else know too? So you'd have to know. Question. The answer. And like motherfuckers be trying to, fuck it up. Yeah, and I totally lost my train of thought, but that's how it happens. That's what happens. Doesn't it? Like, people don't really fucking notice. I don't think, but that's my thinking. I don't think people notice that enough. But like, remembering is like think about it. Something's missing. So when it remembers, when you remember it, recall it. If it's something to recall, if it's something to remember, something to recall, well then it remembers with you. It like comes back to you. It comes back to your memory. If you can think of something and then that made you think of something that you are thinking of that happened because and because you're thinking of it, now you remember that it happened because it did, and it remembers with you. It remembers your consciousness or whatever. So like remembering everything, that if you could know everything, I mean, if you could know everything, if you could know what God knew, like the knowledge of good and evil, the difference, and all logic and all knowledge, the right way of thinking, believing, understanding, and solving problems, getting down to the bottom of the source of the problems, and then sourcing, and then at the source, fixing the problem. Then well, I'm losing my train of thought again. But just, oh yeah, there it is. Sourcing the problem at source. It'll lead you to it. Since you're already there out of disorder, then that's the way out. And it's gonna be tough. See, that's the thing. It's tough when you first try to, because it's like when it snows. If I let it snow. One time, like let it snow is like one. Then you have to let it snow before it starts to stick, and finally, and starts to build up. Then it starts to build up. Set the bar lower. You know, or no, I'm sorry. Set the bar higher. Fuck, said it backwards. Set the bar higher. Like, let it snow. Let it like go the mile. Go the extra mile. Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it snow. If it's something that you want to know, because if it was something, if it was something about something, then you want to know what it was about, or something, what it was, something about it. You could like remember one key word, something about what it was about, something like positive, some positivity. Like you're like pointing your satellite in the direction of whatever it was that we were hearing, that was being heard, that was being said, that was being whatever, something, whatever it is. And that reminds you of wherever we were at, a state of mind. And then you just kind of look for it with the will, dig for it. And it'll come right back up after you start to roll it. Let it tumble. Like, pay attention to what. Let it do a tumble in your mind. Like something to do with positive, and then you cross paths, minus, subtract, add for for plus, but it really a false advertisement. So add distraction, disorder, add deception. So it's like, oh yeah, add, so minus sign. Let's add traction, 2D scale, and cross paths with that sad traction, or that subtraction, just like a subway track. See how subway is like going backward or that way, and it's just a line. It's like a flat line, and it's sub, and it's also it's sub, but it's also a subway under the ground, like dark in the darkness, and you can't really see. If you were the train, you would think, or if you were there and there was no train, you wouldn't be able to see where you're going because it's in the dark. And it's the subway the wrong way, sub the right way. So it's like we're in need of an extraction. So like we gotta rescue these poor hostages on the train, and then like fly a helicopter or something. Just drop a ladder, which would take some mad skill to like make the extraction or to like descend onto the train. That'd be cool. Imagine that'd be a good action movie. And to go in and to get whoever, pick up the person, get them, extract them, rescue them, back up the ladder, and like, except for how would a ladder get down to a subject? We could just pretend it's a train for that one. But anyway, cross paths. So you have a subtract, so now you got a cross path. Now you got to cross paths. So it's like plus positive now. Add traction and attraction. Oh, my finger wasn't even there. That's weird. Add traction. Took and like tractor, like a wheel tractor instead of subtract. Minus attract. So subtracted and add traction. Add attraction. Okay. Which is ACDC or ACDC or AC, alternate current, ABC, charging. B, go left. A, asking the right answers. Hey, where did I put the right answers? Anybody know where I put the right answers? You look around. Oh, you notice. Oh, I guess I don't know them. I guess I didn't ask. I didn't have them. Thought I did. But honestly, you ask if you do, and do you? And the answer would be, well, not necessarily. Maybe, but I don't know that. So probably kind of shouldn't be maybe even, because it's, it's not a maybe. It's a no, unless you have them. So you don't have any right answers. Let's just put it that way. You look at it that way. Look around what you can see as a right answer, and then say what you can see. And if that's nothing, then you can see that. Then you can't see the right answer. Anything you can't see that it is right. You have it, or you have any answers or any ideas. Maybe so. Then it goes back to A. Once again, A, asking questions. Right? That's A. A meaning just between you and God, You and O-Y. So you in question mark. And you're asking a question. So if you're asking a question, then at least there's that, compared to like you're not even asking a question about whatever it happens to be. Depends on what it is you're asking about too, right? Because depending on what you ask for is kind of what you get, is what you, because you don't get what you don't ask for unless you, I mean, I'm talking about like knowledge. You don't get what you don't ask for. Like if you're not asking for knowledge, then how in the fuck are you gonna get knowledge? I don't know. You're not learning. You don't want to learn. You're not curious. You're not looking. You're not searching. You're not, like, how can I look? If someone says, hey, like, knowledge is this built, it's like over there. Hey, look, knowledge. And you're like, nah, I'm alright. So, and you won't acknowledge, right? By looking at it. Someone pointing at it and saying, look, knowledge. like you're lost in the desert. Look, like we're saved, and you just think it's a mirage, and so you don't even believe it. You're like, yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna go over there. That's just a mirage, brother. Don't you get it? It's a mirage. And they fucking, okay, well, I'm going. So see ya. They go, and it turns out to really be, really be the oasis that we're really looking for. The oasis that awaits us. But not if you don't acknowledge it. If you don't like acknowledge it for what it really is. So looking at it and seeing it for what it really is kind of a big deal. But also acknowledging it is what it is by even looking for it or looking at it whatever it is, to see it and to then acknowledge it. And that's kind of like what knowledge is right there in a way. Figures. 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 We'll figure. And also, it's not only is that knowledge, but this is the college of the knowledge of good and evil, or the school of hard knocks. Hold on, Faith. I gotta grab something to eat real quick and see if Matt is hungry and feed him if he's hungry. And if you're hungry, let me know and I'll make you something to eat. Okay?